Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, we got a weak connection going on here. Let me hook up to my hotspot. I'm just leaving. Hey house. You may not even be able to hear me. If you can, hit like a yes. I can hear you, but look what I got. Sonia Choquette. Ask your guides. It's a remake of, not a remake, but a rewrite of her book that was the very first book that I read when I got into my spiritual stuff after my accident, where I kind of hovered over a car accident, talking to a girl that looked like me, saying that I didn't want to be her anymore. I don't want to be her anymore. She doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen to you guys. She doesn't even know you guys exist. Her. I kept calling the me that was like laying on the ground, that the ambulance was pulling me out of my car that was basically flooding because they hit a fire hydrant. But I was talking about me as a her. So anyway, Hey House, my publisher, and Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette. So I saw a live of Sonia Choquette today. She's so sweet. She, to me, is someone that I look up to in a huge way, because doing intuitive work is like super criticized. People, first of all, like come in to try to prove you wrong. In addition to trying to prove you wrong, they want to make you look stupid too. And then when they finally believe you, then they like believe you with all their heart and they believe everything you say. So you have to be very careful to not say anything stupid, you know? So anyways, being an intuitive to me has been one of the most challenging things ever, trying to balance like personal life and having the ability or the sense to see or hear or feel more than others. Sonia Choquette gave me a belief in myself that, like, because she basically teaches that you need to stay in tune with your spirit and trust your vibes. Receive. You're not going to get an answer. So that was one of the biggest things that my first teacher taught me, was like, after a healing session, I go, ooh, I saw this green light above their head, and I saw this and I saw that, and I'd be like, what was that? Like you know, for him to tune into it, tell me what that was. What did I see? And he'd be like, well, did you ask it? Did you ask what it was? And I'd be like, no, I just saw it. Okay, well then ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to know what it is. And he was a very good teacher, you know, because it was just basically, so after that is like, all I do now is ask. I mean, that's all I do is ask questions. Probably drives my guides crazy, which I have never met personally. I've met everyone else's guides. I've met everyone else's angels. I've met everyone else's councils and souls and all that stuff. In mine, all I see is just like, I don't see anything. So I think that when it comes to our self-sizes in her first book, weak connection, hold on a second. Maybe this will work a little bit better. So anyway, yeah. So get this book. I want to do a book club. She's live pops up. I always watch because I'm like, that was me like 2 years ago, every Thursday on there going like, oh my God. And every single time the computers would break, something would break. You know, it was like, I felt like I looked like such an idiot. And then today I could tell she was stressed because the computers kept shutting down on her. And I was like, just must be like a frequency thing. It must be when the guides come in, because anytime the guides come in, it's like computers get shut down. That's got to be Jeff. Jeff only calls when I'm on live. He's got like, I couldn't pay him to be any more impeccable than he is in that regard. So anyway, so yeah, I want to do a book club. Like, not a book club. I don't even know what a book club is. Who am I kidding? I want everybody to go out and get this book. Okay. Sonia Choquette, go to heyhouse.com, or I'm sure Amazon, or I'm sure Barnes and Noble, or anywhere they sell books is going to have it. Okay. Ask Your Guides. She wrote it 20 years ago, and it's a book that I read. My friend Rowena walked up to me at the public library because I couldn't afford to buy a book, so we were over at the public library to check some out. And she goes, here, from your favorite author. And I don't know why she said that, because I'd never heard of Sonia Choquette before. I'd never heard of anybody. I was Christian, sort of, and kind of confused and dazed and not really knowing what to do with my life, because I had no driver's license, I had no money, I had no job, I had no dad. Me and my dad were estranged, and my life pretty much just really sucked. But I felt like I had this thing that I needed to figure out, and that was how I ended up outside my body, looking down at an accident, calling myself a her. Like I don't want to be her anymore. I don't want to be her anymore. If I wasn't her, who was I? So I got a lot of answers through ask your guides in regards to like tuning into beings that are not me, but that are here for me. And I don't know how I feel about guides still. I mean, I feel like they're like chemical signals within our body. I have a hard time with guides because I haven't seen my own guides. I mean, I've seen like a foot or like a hand or eyes, but I've never seen like a full like being. Whereas I know that guides aren't always people. I know that they're just energy, and we just turn them into people. But still, I'm very curious to see what she has in this book, because she had her book written 20 years ago, and now this is rewrite, which major props to Sonia Choquette for doing that, because most teachers are like, once I wrote it, that's the truth, and that's the only truth, and I'm not willing to divert from that. My dad like starts going la 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 la, like if it's anything outside of what's in our book, you know. So it's for me, anyone who's willing to be like, ask the questions that may possibly prove their old stuff wrong, is like really super high like in my list. They're not afraid of not believing in what they believe in now, because they're not afraid of bursting their beliefs and then all of a sudden not believing anything anymore. I'm not saying that that's how my dad is. I'm just saying he doesn't like to hear anything that has anything against the Bible, because he's Christian. But as far as a lot of teachers go, I can tell that they're not willing to go there to ask the questions that may possibly burst their like, what is it, paradigm, their belief system at this time. But Sonia Choquette has been doing this forever, since she was a little kid. And I think her first reading that she did, I read in her book a long time ago, was like when she was like 12 or something, which is kind of like, I mean, she probably has abilities kind of like how Anya has, you know, but I'm not putting Anya to work. But anyways, I'm super excited. She's doing that free class. So go buy this book. I'm not getting anything from this. Sonia Choquette does not know that I'm doing this. I'd kind of be embarrassed, because I'm like, oh, she's my hero. But she really is. I mean, at that time in my life when I had nothing, Rowena handed me this book, and I read it, and I did the exercises. I saved up every penny that I had. I didn't pay my credit card bill, I think 1 month, so that I could pay for her Ask Your Guides class. And when we got to the Archangel section, I think it was, where we tuned into our angel, that's when I started to learn how to ask my angels and my spirit for money and not feel bad about it, like how to manifest using my guides and angels. And I just remember after that, I wasn't stressed about money. Money started flowing in. I started working with my dad again. We became partners again. I got back into loans. I was making money. It was just like everything just started flowing. And I look back at my journals from then, and they're just like, my spirit gave this to me today. My spirit gave that to me today. My spirit gave, I mean, I am my spirit, but at that time I thought I was her with a spirit. And like our higher self, I guess, would be like, I am Marissa. That's why I am is my Marissa, you know. So it's like we are our God self, and the totality of who we are is all of our guides, our I am, our we, our me, our I, everything. It's all us. And the amazing thing about like what I love to do about like with the DNA activations and stuff like that is that if we had all of our DNA activated, like we could literally access like every single dimension of ourselves, like at the same time, the way that God does through us. And we are God, but like not at the same time. So anyways, we choose to have all these veils that kind of like block us from seeing everything. Otherwise it wouldn't be that fun of a game. People say like, well, like Anya said the other night, well, I don't want to play this game anymore. I was like, well, the whole point of coming down here is to not remember that we made the game, that we planned the game, that we planned our life, that we planned everything, so that we could see what we could do to accomplish and conquer certain obstacles in our life. But the cool thing is that now they're telling us, the guides are telling us, that there's no more plan anymore now that we're 5D. But the people stuck in the past, which is what we're doing tomorrow night at class, is we're pulling everybody from the past 2020 into 2021. It's very hard to not be in 2020 when you're wearing a mask, because it brings back memories of, well, 2020. So it's very hard to not be stuck in the past. But I'm going to do a technique that the guides taught me, and I practiced on me and Sue the other day, where basically I pull all of you out of the past and into like the present moment in 2021 right now, because the guide said that there was a false reality created by something, by the ball dropping, and blah 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 blah, a bunch of like technical stuff. But basically, like there's a separate field created that everybody's still living in the past. That we need to get into the present moment. We need to be here now. But first here and now, ask your guides. So appropriate too, because when I first got into this stuff, it was 1409, I think. And today is 15. Is Isn't it? Today's the 5th? I think so. 149. I don't know why I remember that. But anyways, I do. So I will post on intuitionliving.com, which is my Patreon page. It's a not-for-profit page where any donations that you give can be applied towards a reading or a healing or classes throughout the month. Like if you take like a $300 workshop, you can apply the $100 towards it or whatever. If you get a $600 healing, you can take the $300 and apply it towards that. It's also, and all of the pledges go towards students. It used to go towards my office when I had a huge like $8,000 office payment, but not anymore. I don't have an office anymore, really. So I'm taking all the money and I'm giving it to financial aid to help people like me back then who saved up every single penny to get her course, which was so worth it. Her course, she actually has like a video course on Ask Your Guides. And sometimes just making that initial investment in yourself, like the money, makes it feel real. Like if somebody gives you something for free, you don't really like honor it or respect it that much. But if you pay for something and actually like, oh, I'm paying for this, you actually will use it and you'll place value to it. So I place value to Sonia Choquette. I think she's an amazing author. I don't know her as a person. I had the privilege of having her write a quote for my book, which I was like, oh, this is so cool. And people say stuff like that to me about my books and stuff like a lot, and I take it very, very lightly, and I'm just like, oh yeah, because I have a very low self-esteem. But I mean, authors have the ability to save people's lives, and she, by writing her book, saved mine, along with, my own will and drive and, all that stuff too, that people would say, oh, well, it can't just be her. Well, yeah, if the book hadn't been written, maybe another one would have come along that would have helped, but this is the one that helped me get into what I'm doing today. Before I even knew I was a medium, before I knew I was intuitive, before I knew anything, I read this book and I love it. So I can't wait to dive into this. We'll do it like a daily meeting up until her course that she does is a free course. It's a 5-day thing, and then we'll do that together. And after that, we'll meet, we'll channel, we'll do we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. So we'll have that's what we'll do. We'll take her class, and then afterwards we can do like a clearing meditation, a grounding, and kind of like ask the guides to kind of like mesh whatever she taught us in with whatever it is that they want to teach. And we'll do it for like donation or something towards Patreon or something like that. We'll figure it out. So check intuitionliving.com. If you don't follow my Patreon, you can follow it for free, or you can follow it for $1 or whatever. You get access to like 900 classes that I have archived on there. And then that's it. The link to Zoom will be posted on Patreon, or the ability to buy tickets or whatever will be posted on there probably within the next 2 hours or so. But just wanted to show you guys this. I wanted to show you guys Hay House. Oh, I miss Hay House. I miss my radio show. I miss a lot of stuff. But I'm looking forward to an awesome 2021. I don't think that 2020 was all that awful. I mean, I thought it was awful in that a lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people worried about losing their lives. A lot of people are very, very scared. But at the same time, the amount of family time that people were able to get, the appreciation that people have for time is different now, because people were afraid that they didn't have any more left of it. And I think that 2020 brought a lot of attention to our lower chakras. The lower chakras got us grounded in our bodies, got us present. And I think that a lot of people are better people because of it. And a lot of people are much worse people because of it, because they're still living in fear, and they're fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, and they're judgy and taking everyone's inventory and stuff like that. And I just hope that, as this year starts, like Sonia Choquette said today on her live feed, was why go into a new year working on problems, working on an issue that you've had your entire life? Why not just ditch it and start something new? And that's what I always say. It's why focus on the molestation that you had when you were 5 years old? Why do that? You're just going to relive it over and over and over. Why not just ask that it be completely removed and then focus on something else, something else that happened because of it or something like that. So, anyway, she said that today in her live feed, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally agree with that. But I'm looking forward to her class. I don't know what day it starts, maybe Saturday-ish. So when I get home to a computer. Okay, that'll probably be an hour or so. Gotta go get the kiddos. Okay, bye. DiscoverIntuition.com, MarissaMorris.com. Marissa.com. So Marisa. I am Marissa.com. Go buy this book, Sonia Choquette, Ask Your Guides. It came out today. If you want to see who she is, go on to Hay House and look at the last live feed. I'm sure they had on there. And that's her. And yeah. Peace out. See you guys soon, okay? Bye. And thank you, Sonia Choquette, for writing this book. I'm super excited. Can't wait to dive